You've felt it before, haven't you? That surge of inspiration, followed by the crushing weight of self-doubt. The words that flow effortlessly one moment, only to dry up the next. It's a universal struggle, but what if I told you it doesn't have to be this way? Today, we're diving deep into the heart of creativity, exploring how our most turbulent emotions can become our greatest allies in the creative process. Let's start with a simple truth. Creativity isn't about perfection. It's about authenticity. Think about the last time a piece of art truly moved you. Was it flawless, or was it raw and real? The most powerful creations come from a place of vulnerability, not polish. But here's the problem. We've been taught to fear our emotions, to suppress them in the name of professionalism or productivity. We've become so focused on the end result that we've forgotten the beauty of the journey. It's time to change that narrative. It's time to embrace the chaos. But before we go further, let's address the elephant in the room: fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being good enough. These are the invisible chains that hold us back. But what if fear is just misplaced energy? That it's actually a sign you're on the right track? Think about it. Fear only shows up when something matters to us, when we're pushing our boundaries and stepping into the unknown. So instead of running from fear, what if we learned to dance with it? Imagine channeling that nervous energy into your work, using it as fuel for your creative fire. It's not about eliminating fear, but transforming it into something powerful. Now let's talk about another emotion that often gets a bad rap: anger. We're taught to suppress our anger, to see it as destructive and unprofessional. But what if anger is actually a compass, pointing us towards what truly matters? Think of the great social movements throughout history. They weren't born from complacency, but from righteous anger at injustice. Your anger is telling you something important. It's highlighting the gap between how things are and how they should be. Instead of bottling it up, what if you used that passion to fuel your creative work? Channel that fire into your art, your writing, your music. Let it be the spark that ignites change. But it's not just about the fiery emotions. Sometimes the greatest insights come from our moments of deepest sadness. We live in a culture that's always chasing happiness. But what if our melancholy has something valuable to teach us? Think of the blues musicians who turned their pain into timeless art, or the poets who found beauty in their darkest hours. Your sadness is not a weakness. It's a wellspring of empathy, depth, and understanding. Don't run from it. Dive into it. Explore its contours and let it inform your work. You might be surprised at the treasures you find in those depths. An emotion that's often overlooked in the creative process is boredom. We're so used to constant stimulation that we've forgotten the value of empty space. But boredom is the fertile soil from which new ideas grow. It's the pause between notes that gives music its rhythm. Next time you feel bored, resist the urge to reach for your phone. Sit with that discomfort. Let your mind wander. You never know where it might lead you. Some of the greatest inventions and artistic breakthroughs came from moments of apparent nothingness. But how do we actually put this into practice? How do we turn emotional turmoil into creative gold? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to your emotional landscape. What are you feeling right now? Don't judge it. Don't try to change it. Just observe. Then pick up your tool of choice, a pen, a brush, an instrument, and start creating from that place. Don't worry about the outcome. Focus on the process. Let your emotions guide your hand. You might be surprised at what emerges when you give yourself permission to feel and create simultaneously. Now let's address a common objection. But what if my emotions are too intense? What if they overwhelm me? This is where the practice of mindfulness comes in. It's about creating a space between stimulus and response. Imagine your emotions as waves in the ocean. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf them. Mindfulness gives you that skill. It allows you to observe your emotions without being swept away by them. Start with simple breathing exercises. Focus on your breath for just 5 minutes a day. As you build this skill, you'll find yourself better able to navigate the stormy seas of your inner world. But mindfulness isn't just about calming down. It's about tuning in. As you become more aware of your emotional landscape, you'll start to notice patterns and connections you never saw before. This is where the magic happens. This is where innovation is born. By embracing all of your emotions, the light and the dark, you open yourself up to a fuller range of creative expression. You become a more versatile artist, a more empathetic communicator, a more effective problem solver. Now let's talk about the role of community in this process. Creativity doesn't happen in a vacuum. We need others to challenge us, inspire us, and support us. But sharing our raw emotional work can be terrifying. We fear judgment and rejection. This is where courage comes in, not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act in spite of it. Start small. Share your work with a trusted friend or join a supportive online community. As you build confidence, gradually expand your circle. Remember, vulnerability is strength. Your willingness to share your truth will inspire others to do the same. But what about the practical side of things? How do we balance emotional expression with the demands of the real world? This is where structure becomes your ally. Set aside specific times for emotional exploration and creative work. Create rituals that signal to your brain it's time to dive deep. Maybe it's lighting a candle, playing a certain song, or simply taking 3 deep breaths. The key is consistency. Show up for your creative practice even when you don't feel inspired. Some days will be harder than others. That's okay. The act of showing up is a victory in itself. Last, let's address the elephant in the room: failure. In our pursuit of emotional alchemy, we will stumble. We will create things that don't work. We will face rejection. But here's the secret: failure is not the opposite of success. It's a necessary part of it. Every failed attempt is a data point, teaching you what doesn't work and pointing you towards what might. Embrace failure as a teacher. Let it refine your process and strengthen your resolve. Remember, the most successful people in any field are often those who failed the most. They just kept going. As we near the end of our journey, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. By embracing our emotions and channeling them into our creative work, we're not just becoming better artists. We're becoming more whole human beings. We're learning to navigate the full spectrum of human experience with grace and purpose. This isn't just about making better art. It's about living a more authentic, fulfilling life. It's about showing up in the world as your full, messy, beautiful self. So, where do we go from here? How do we take these ideas and put them into action? Start small. Choose one emotion you've been avoiding and spend 5 minutes exploring it through your chosen creative medium. Don't judge the outcome. Focus on the process. What did you learn? How did it feel? Gradually increase the duration and intensity of these sessions. Keep a journal to track your progress. Remember, this is a lifelong journey. There's no finish line, only continuous growth and discovery. As we come to the end of this video, I want to leave you with a challenge. For the next week, commit to embracing one difficult emotion each day. Use it as fuel for your creative work. Share your experience in the comments below. What did you discover? What challenges did you face? Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to start their own journey of emotional alchemy. If you found value in this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more insights on creativity, emotion, and personal growth. And remember, in the words of the great painter Vincent van Gogh, I dream of painting and then I paint my dream. Your emotions are the colors on your palette. Use them boldly, use them bravely, and watch as your creative world comes alive in ways you never imagined. Until next time, keep feeling, keep creating, and keep transforming. The world is waiting for your unique vision.